Welcome to another session of Code Red. In this series, we are looking at coming into your Canaan, getting into your Canaan, which means you're coming out of your wilderness. So in this transition video, we will be looking at being prepared for the good and the ugly. Hashtag armed and dangerous. I'll be taking my text from Acts chapter 5, and it's about the disciples of Jesus. It's mostly Peter, and he was, I believe, with another disciple. It just says that the disciples, they even healed the sick. I'm reading from verse 13, that none of the rest dared to join them, but the people held them in high honor. And more than ever, believers were added to the Lord, multitudes both of men and women, so that they even carried out the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and pallets. Remember, we're talking about the good and the ugly. So it's a good thing that they were able to heal the sick by laying them on the beds and pallets. And as Peter came by, at least his shadow might fall on some of them. So just by having the shadow of Peter pass over these sick people on beds and pallets, they were healed. And the people also gathered from the towns around Jerusalem, bringing the sick and those afflicted with unclean spirits, and they were all healed. You can imagine how exciting that must have been, that you just lay people on the streets, and by Peter passing by, they are healed. And for those of us who know how much it is costly even to get treatment in this country or in any other country, I'm in Kenya, so I don't know, but there is a high cost to just getting good, medical treatment in most parts of the world. And just by passing over these people, Peter was able to heal them with merely his shadow. And those afflicted were brought from all around the towns. I could imagine even in modern day, we would be really excited to have somebody who can just heal by merely his shadow, and we would flock there and take everybody that we know who's unwell just for the chance of having them healed. So the apostles, then something interesting happens. From verse 17 it says, but the high priest rose up, and all who were with him, that is the party of the Sadducees, and filled with jealousy, they arrested the apostles and put them in the common prison. So these people are just from doing good, and then suddenly they get arrested by the high priest. It's not just anybody, it's the high priest, who's somebody who's high-ranking official in the religious realm. And notice what made them get arrested. It was because they felt jealous. The Sadducees and the high priest, they felt jealous about the work that was happening. So how many times does that happen? God is trying to prepare us for the good and the ugly. Just because you're doing good doesn't mean everybody is going to like you. The fact that you're doing good might actually land you in trouble. And this is what happened. The angel of the Lord had to rescue both Peter, the apostles. They were arrested, and the angel of the Lord opened the prison doors and brought them out. So it was not just about how badly they were how badly they were treated, but the angel of the Lord actually came and rescued them. So in the times where we seem to be caught up by jealousies or intricacies that have been born by the fact that somebody is jealous, and they use their power wrongfully to arrest us without trial or even without a cause, then we need to know that the Lord himself can actually make a way where an angel is sent to rescue us. And the angel had this to say, go and stand in the temple and speak to the people all the words of this life. So they've just gotten arrested, and the reason why they were arrested is because the Sadducees and the party of the Sadducees and the high priest and all who were with him put them in prison because they were jealous. These people are still around, the high priest and the Sadducees. They hadn't gone anywhere, but the angel of the Lord told the apostles this: go and stand in the temple and speak to the people all the words of this life. And this is the charge that we have this day as well. Go and stand in the temple and speak to the people all the words of this life. So the fact that God supernaturally rescued these apostles means that God will supernaturally rescue you even at the time when you are doing something right for God and somebody somewhere uses their power and their influence to have you in trouble. God is still going to get you out of it in order to continue with the mission. So remember, we're saying coming into your Canaan is getting out of the wilderness. In order to be equipped to be in your Canaan, or the place of rest, it means that you have to fulfill your duties and your calling or mission. And for you to fulfill your mission, you need to be fearless about it. You need to be prepared that some people will not like you, and some people will throw you in a prison, whatever that prison may look like. They may suspend you from, something, or get you out of the job, or plot against you, speak all manner of things, false accusations, try to separate you from your support system. It's all part of the job. And these people who are jealous used their power to inflict agony or unworthy, undue punishment for something good. So it wasn't that they had done anything. The apostles were actually doing good, but they got arrested for it. But God stood by them, sends an angel, and who sends them back. So God really uses this angel to deploy them back to the place of their mission, which was to go and speak the words of this life. This life in my version is capital L, which is the life of God. It's a supernatural life. It's a life that comes from the Spirit of God. It's not just life like life skills. It's about the life that God gives us through His Spirit. That is why it is a capital L. Speak the words of this life, the life in Christ, the life embodied in the Son of God, the life of having a home within the presence of God, who is our Father, who then invites His Son, and He helps us to have the Spirit of God within us so that we host the presence of God, and by His power are able to do the miraculous. Remember that Peter had just been from healing the sick with his shadow. How was he able to do that? It's because of the life that was in him. It was supernatural life. And when they had this, they entered the temple at daybreak and taught. So they obeyed. They didn't just hear and say, wow, that was nice. Yeah, we're going home. We got a flogging last night and we need to, just take it easy. No, they actually heard from the angel and they obeyed. And it says that when they had this, they entered the temple at daybreak and taught. There is no indication that they went home to their families. There is no indication that they went home to take a shower. It says that they entered the temple at daybreak and taught, which means that at daybreak, really early in the morning, they were there to teach again. So that is what the Spirit of God is saying today. You need to rise up again and do what you need to do again. It's about ignoring or getting past the opposition. Don't pay attention to what people are stopping you, or those who are stopping you. They are not going to stop you from what you need to do, even if they try. You need to stay on course. Stay on course. Your high moments will be defined by how you handle the low moments. And in this point, the angel of the Lord was sent to set the apostles back on course. So just because you've been rescued out of something doesn't mean it's time for you to quit. It's time for you to get up again and do what you are meant to do. So I hope you're encouraged. Remember, our text has come from Acts chapter 5. I'd encourage you to read the whole chapter. I read from verse 13 to 21. Do enjoy the read and enjoy this process, because God is in the process of bringing you into your Canaan. It is all for your good, both the bad and the ugly. Make sure you are armed with the life of Christ so that you can be dangerous to the enemy, the devil, and all the people that he uses. Hashtag Sadducees and priests, and whoever represents Sadducees and high priests in your life. Don't pay attention to them. Pay attention to the Spirit of God and listen to what God is saying. Bye-bye and have a lovely Easter Sunday.